Real quick, I'm putting this at the beginning because I just finished the video. It's an hour and 10 minutes long. I started this off, and I will say right now, this is not really well put together. I've at this point, I think I've tried recording it 3 times, and cutting out points. At this point, I'm just keeping this. I talk about comments I've gotten. I watch some of the film, and then I talk about why I don't like it to the manga. I read the manga again, the volume 1 and some of volume 2, and I talk about how they change stuff and how I don't like it. So I will say right now, more than likely this video will not have likes or dislikes too, because people like to just bomb it as soon as they see a bad opinion on something. I noticed that with the movie, is in the first 5 hours it was up, I got 1 like, and a guy commented and was kind of lenient and talking about it, and he was fine. And then that was in the first hour. 4 more hours passed, and then suddenly it was like 2-3 hours. I had 3 more views on my video, but I had 5 dislikes. It's YouTube algorithm. People can click on my video, see that I don't have video for the movie, or see that, and then just dislike it. So more than likely this will have likes and dislikes off too. Real quick, I can actually check, because if I go to analysis for Battle Angel Alita, let's actually see. The average view duration for this reaction, and it's different between people, is about 5 minutes for the movie. That's talking about the movie. And I kind of figured, because in that first hour, a couple hours of it being up, I think it said a couple people watched it for a few minutes. One person watched it a lot longer, whoever wrote the comment. But it told me I had 5 dislikes and only like 4 reviews or 3 reviews. 5 dislikes and a like out of 3 views. So maybe it's just the system being buggy. I've seen it happen before, but more than likely this will have likes and dislikes turned off. Otherwise, hope you guys do enjoy the video, and we're going to jump into it. Hello YouTube, this is Mr. Chris again. I'm back. This is Battle Angel Alita, or Alita Battle Angel, the movie 2019 full review. This is going to either be 30 minutes or an hour long. Don't know. We're going to talk about everything that I didn't like from the movie and why I liked it from the manga, kind of talk like that. I'm also going to talk about comments I've received from the film. Real quick, I'm going to say, probably from this point on, we're not doing any more live action movies, because quick fact is, a lot of people that watch live action movie, they're looking for clips. Since I don't show clips, because my channel almost got taken down twice now, since I don't show clips anymore or audio, they usually just see the video, dislike it, and leave. So more than likely we won't be doing it. If we do it, it'll be a special occasion in the future. More than likely we won't do it. Likes and dislikes are turned off the previous video for that reason, but also likes and dislikes will probably be turned off this video, just for clarity. Give me 1 second. I just restarted this because I was rambling, looking for stuff for about 5 minutes in the last time I tried this. I'm more organized this time, at least a little more organized. So that's one reason. Also, after I recorded the reaction, I looked up the reviews and saw how much people loved the movie, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna probably get a lot of hate for me hating the movie. First, we're gonna start off with some, before we start reading through the manga, and I'm gonna start comparing it to said movie. I'm going to say a few things. I had comments. I'm going to just read a little bit of it and give my own opinion on each what you said here. David Watson, and I believe there's one other guy who was left me a comment. Jenya Kozlov. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. David's left a lot of comments. We're gonna get to your comments here in a second. I'm gonna explain what we'll be doing here after the comments. I have the manga loaded up. I have the movie loaded up. I'm gonna probably skip through it and just pause. That's why we don't have a timer or anything. We've already done the reaction. If you guys want to see the reaction, I'll put it up here somewhere, up in the link. Also link it at the end of the video. Otherwise, I think I've said everything I wanted to say. We're gonna jump into comments first, and then we're gonna jump into Battle Angel Alita and just jump in from that point on. One, I will say right now, I probably said stuff wrong. Like, I think one of the newest comments is the mark of Zalam. I'm not going to call it Zalam because that's not what we call it in the manga. It is Typharers. The mark of Typharers is not the mark of exiles. I believe I already know that. I just probably said it that way because that's what they said in the movie, or I must have picked it up wrong, whatever. But I do agree, Io removing it makes no sense. Yeah, that one's fine. One thing good to note, thank you for saying this. This was a PG-13 movie, not R-rated movie, which makes a lot of sense because later things we're going to touch in, they couldn't do that because it's PG-13. You can't show the dog dying on screen, even though they say the dog dying off screen. They did it in the anime. Kind of like that, dying off screen. They couldn't show a bunch of blood and stuff because it's PG-13. You can't show too much of that. That makes a lot more sense why certain things were cut that way. I did not read the books until after seeing the film. Love the books, but still love the film. There's a comment in here. And how many films are the same as a book? Almost none. If you ever read a book, the movie is never as good. Sorry, but that's life. Films screw up the books. What I got out of most of your comments here, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong, you said the anime was based for people, to get people to go read the manga. And the movie was based more off the OVAs. If so, then the movie is just in its own genre at that point. If it's basing it off the anime and the anime basically builds it off the point to go read the manga, you're not taking from the manga much. You're just taking whatever you want and making a story, whatever. But to your point that films that way, I can't compare it too much because a lot of the films I've seen from anime are like new stories or they build onto the story. But I was hoping this would put more into like a cover volume 1 and then cover volume 2 instead of compacting everything and then cutting stuff out. More than likely they could do the entirety of volume 1 in an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours and not cut as much out and then do volume 2. But I'm guessing they couldn't do that because they would put too much money and time in that, whatever the case is. The other thing is, when you say the book, the movie is never as good as the book, it's not a book to me, it's a manga. I will always consider it manga, how I'm reading it through its manga. Every anime that's picked up from manga, One Piece. I'm gonna give some examples here because me and him were talking back and forth about this. He considers My Hero. He considers Marimasha. There's a bunch he considered. Dr. Stone. I have One Piece. I have Seven Deadly Sins. I have trying to think of the manga I read through. Fairy Tail. All those manga, even if they do episode by episode, they take fully from the manga and put it into animated special. This felt more like they took stuff from the manga and just kind of took it and then built their own story around it. They didn't take it and then build, like, they didn't take the whole story and then build the film like the story. They kind of built a story and then just took pieces from the manga and just put it in the film, which might be average. I just don't like it that way. Going from anime and manga and them being very, very closely to going to this, where I'm reading the manga and then watching the movie, and it's not at all close to what the manga started off with. That pisses me off. If you get what I'm saying, if you don't, I'm sorry, but that's how I see it. I think there's maybe one or two other things I want to comment on. Comments. More than likely, we won't pick up the OVA or the OVA or anime, whatever, because just because if the movie is based off that, don't want to see what that was. I'll just stick to the manga because the manga has been a blast, and after seeing the movie adaptation, it was not great. This is the best adaptation of a Japanese property to date, far better than Amazon or Netflix has done or to do. Manga any justice need to a film for each volume of the manga. There is too much to fit in a 2-hour film. This is why multiple characters get rolled into one person or names. Yeah, I get that, but I can still get pissed off at it. I get that they're rolling multiple characters into one, but still, I can I'll get pissed off of it because I was expecting more. Also, if I got told the movie was going to cover volume 1 and 2 of the manga, or if I got told more directly, because I think I got told that everything from the movie I already covered it from reading the manga, but if I got told more directly that the movie covered like volume 1 and 2 within a 2-hour frame, but they cut stuff, I more than likely wouldn't have seen the movie. I would have not picked up the movie because I would have stayed away from it, or I would have not done a review on it, because at this point, that's how I feel. Okay, otherwise, we're probably gonna jump into the manga. I think I've said everything from the comments. The other comment was more talking about how things have changed from manga. Should have just detected though. I don't like how. One thing I'll comment is I don't like how not Vector, Destinova is up in Typhairs, where in the manga it was shown that he was down in the waist with everybody else. Okay, whatever. Let's jump into looking at the manga and the movie. So I'm going to start from the beginning. This might be longer because each of these chapters are very long. It's like 230 pages for the first volume, and it makes a lot of sense. Ito first finding Alita in the scrapyard. Gonzo got not put in at all, which is fine. Gonzo is just, if you guys didn't know, the reason I might critically rate this movie, thunderstorm above, the reason I might critically critic. I might heavily heavily, I can't think my words, critically, heavily criticize this movie is because with manga or anime that stars mostly a female main character, I don't get into it that well. Look, if you ever want to see what I mean, go look up Kill la Kill. I did a reaction and review to the whole series of that. I didn't like it that much. I liked it some with the action in that, but that was it. This one, I'm a little better for picking, liking it, because Alita is not the only one in front lines most of the time. You also have like Ito on the sidelines, or you get story with Ito or Gonzo or Destinova. We got a little bit of him. Vector. Can't think. Kiyomi a little bit. Later stuff. Shimura. And like, just you got other things to look at and other other characters to depend off of. The movie, the way they played off Alita, I didn't like how they played off Alita. Maybe that's just because how they played her off in the manga, where everything had to have a reason for her killing or fighting people. Because there's always something behind that reaction, that cause to why she did it. And then you have like points in the movie where you're like, I don't know if she has a true reason to do that. Ugh. Okay, let me keep going. I'm gonna play this movie a little bit, and I'm gonna keep looking through this. What was played kind of well was the kind of like suspense on if Ito was the person taken out, was the person stealing body parts for her. It was played pretty well off. Let me see. I'm pretty sure most of this is pretty well off. Yeah, and then she takes out the person with her moves. I do like the factory with the bounty hunters. I do like how they were it was pretty well done. Having Vector be part of the factory, in the factory higher up, didn't feel right to me either. I'm saying that right now. Factory 33, I'm looking. Saw something beautiful, and you grew more beautiful every day. Try and talk out her from joining the factory. Also, when she went into the factory, there was more of a question. There was no guards. It was just more of those tubes. I can't remember what their tubes are. Her joining. I'm just seeing a lot of this the second chapter is them showing off how the bounty hunting works, how it tracks everything. And then we see, which I don't think we saw many clips of, and maybe that's just because they didn't want to put a name behind the character yet, is the I don't know if I even know his name, is the barkeeper. The barkeeper. His whatever the guy's name is, you see him from time to time in the volume 1 and volume 2. He's, I believe, the father of Kiyomi, or adopted father, I can't think right now. And I was hoping we get more conversation with him. Then you have him with the dog. Pose. And then you get just someone comes up to the barkeep when he's out on the road and asks how much for the the and says, Poe's the only family I have left. Let me get back to Kiyomi because I'm forgetting something here. I'm sorry. And then we find out who's the big guy walking with him. Where is it? Then you see the big guy goes on a rampage because he couldn't get brains. It's Makaku. We don't know the name yet. But him going on a rampage and eating brains, which I'm more than certain they could not show that off because that would be way too bloody. Maybe anime now, but not. Maybe it's different in the anime that they did the adaptation. Your life is on the line. We go back to Ito. Oh, and then the guy who's helping Makaku earlier, Ito takes him out. I'm trying just speed through this because I don't want to stay too long. She tries to face Makaku here, Alita. She takes off his arm, which doesn't happen like it happens in the movie. I believe the movie Makaku isn't even named Makaku in the movie. It's named someone else, but it is when Ito went after a lady, and she stopped him, and then she took out one guy, then took out the lady, and then took off his arm, and he retreated. During that fight, that's where she gets torn in half. In the manga, when she tore off the guy's arm, that's where she got torn in half. It wasn't when she was under the bar. That's where... But even if you consider her under the bar and doing all her techniques to jab out his eye with her arm, is, I believe, it was not even the correct eye in the movie, but that's fine. Either eye would have been fine. Ito finds her. Where is it? Pain. Ito comes in to stop it, blowing up the torso or the other arm of Makaku. The only arm left. Where's his head? Makaku in what? The movie? Let me actually skip. Go a little bit. Before I go more. I get why they put Hugo. I get why they put Hugo helping Alita through. I get why they put Hugo in the beginning here, helping Alita through, because it kind of puts more her getting taught life. Where in the manga we didn't really get that too much. Ito helped out a lot. Oh yeah, everything's low on my TV. Ugh. I'll get to the suit here in a little bit. Okay. I'm trying to get to the under the bar scene after the dog is killed and all that. Also, I think Makaku didn't really have a boss. Yeah, she gets cut up. Yeah, when Alita got cut up previously or got torn apart, I get why it was the other eye because of the other arm. Also, whatever Alita's going on with her memories, this definitely hasn't happened in the manga. I just finally got her real name in the manga, or her name that she has. Sorry, I'm now watching a little bit. Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly how this plays out. I believe I know, but I want to make sure before I say it. That's why I wanted to get to the part in the movie where she's fighting him. It is Io that stops him at that point. Hugo comes down. The dogs make sense because the dogs eventually help out. The dogs eventually help her out later on. I think in volume 2. I don't think it's volume 1. I get Ito helping her there because it fits perfectly with the first fight. Just the fight took differently. Then for his last attack, Makaku's final attack, before he retreats, he shoots a big needle into Ito, which then paralyzes him for a while. Because does it paralyze? I can't remember because if it paralyzes him for a while or if it paralyzes him for the rest of the time. I can't remember because this is one of the moments that have passed my knowledge. Because if I didn't take the 4-month break because of heart conditions and stuff, I probably would memorize, have most of this memory. But that is my fault. I took stuff for health related. Took a break. But let's see. Makaku hits Ito. Then he escapes. Which then, if I remember correctly, it's a desperate fight to get him and her back to the shop where Gonzo comes pick them up. Where is this? More than certain I remember where this takes place. Let me see real quick. Yeah, I kind of figured. Mark of Typharers. Which they consider. Yeah, so it's just a mark of people from Typharers. Also, when we do the manga, I'm going to have to try to forget everything what the movie showed, because hopefully none of this. Also, real quick, her saying she wanted previously she found the body off that ship that crashed. In the manga, we get shown off Ito finding the body originally on a search and then had it in the basement and didn't want to use it. Alita not knowing about it was so much more of a cool, holy crap, what is this armor piece that he's had hidden away all this time and didn't want to use it from the crashed ship. I liked it more when Ito showed it off as look at this thing I had down here. It's from a previous era, instead of Alita saying, I want this. This was made for me, so I want this. But I'm guessing for the movie, it related more to her being from a spaceship that was on the war with Typhers, and this whole backstory with her, which made it so when she, later on when Hugo is climbing the line up to Typhers, and the big saw is coming down, Alita knows the saw is coming down and then warns Hugo. In the actual manga, they don't know the saw is there, but it comes down and it still ends up happening that way, where she lets go of Hugo. That was done pretty well. Her not knowing it, I don't think really matters all too much, because it still ended up in the same conclusion. Let me see. I think my biggest concern was Makaku being put into the other villain. I get that he was shown, she fought him, took off an arm, and then he destroyed her and got away with only a wound, and then ends up facing her again. I get that, but seeing Makaku in the manga solely take out just opponents so flawlessly, and then having the first interaction with her being he destroys her and she leaves at least a wound and takes off the arm, and then the head gets away, where I like that so much more than the movie, because Mukaku was almost defeated in that first interaction, and he got away just by he was able to detach his head. In the movie, he got away because he jumped into a sewer pipe when his arm got taken off, and then he retreated, got help from Vector. Also, having Desanova be able to watch over everything from people's minds kind of felt kind of weird. In the long run of that, it would make sense if Desanova had technology that made him have eyes around the city, but I don't think he has any of that in the manga. What we've read, Desanova has just been this background character now for a long time. He was in the front line for a little bit, but now he's in the background again. But still, I'm trying to get to the thing. Also, the body, the body and the claws that Makaku later on in the movie rocks. In the manga, he ends up taking off the head of one of a battle arena champion and uses the body. I know, but he still had the wire claws and stuff, which makes sense in the long run. It's just they did it a different way. Because why would you have to show a battle champion like that if you could do it a different way? I get that whole thing. It's tubes from the Typharers. Also, one other thing about this. Is Hugo didn't bring her by the bar, or brought her near the bar. For Bounty Hunters, it was Ito bringing her. And Ito needed to be carried down. Also, the more welcome from Zappa and everybody between the doc and Alita and all that felt when Alita came into the bar and was all this very cocky about her nature and saying how bounty hunters should be that way and all this other stuff. I didn't like how it did it in the movie just because in the manga it was more like a friendly interaction. At first, it wasn't like this hostility at first. Also, that's where you meet Kiyomi, the baby, and Duke, the dog. You met Duke earlier. First time you see Kiyomi. Yeah, also Makaku in the manga, I was more than certain, I wanted to make sure. Makaku in the manga has a bounty on him, but he's killed 10 people so far. So that's why no one wants to go after him. But in the bar scene, it's because he has no bounty on him. That's why no one wants to go after it. I kind of like... Either way, it doesn't really matter too much if he didn't have a bounty. I just like the sake that he had a bounty on him, and so many people have tried to go after Makaku, and that's why they would rather live with their lives than face a monster that have taken down countless foes. That's when I think what Alita calls them cowards, and that's when the bar scene is pretty much the same. The bar fight scene was really good. I really loved it. Also, the whole way, I think I've said this before at this point, the whole way Alita is shown off throughout the movie to be how her personality is. I also didn't like the way they show her off in the movie is working with Ito and doing all this stuff. She kind of has not a full carefree attitude, but she how do I explain this? She fuck. I think being along Ito for so long, she's learned like good, evil, kind of learned the basics. Ugh. Not cocky, but kind of more. I can't explain. There's some way the movie doesn't picture Alita in the full art. They do decent with Alita. It's just in the movie it feels like Alita's more just killing because it's there. She can kill. Instead of in the manga where she doesn't really kill, she kills for a purpose, and there's always a purpose behind everything. I think I've already said this. I'm sorry if I did. The whole bar scene goes pretty much similar. There's a lot of change. There could be changes or not. Doesn't matter to me. The bar scene in the movie was really good. The only thing different is in the manga, she puts everyone up into like a ball of people and throws them out the bar. And that's when Makaku appears. And solely like the whole bar gets torn apart because Makaku comes in. He's so goddamn tall. That's also what they show off is the height of him enter the bar and all that, and him then having the suit, Makaku attaining the best battle champion, having that suit of armor made him even more of a force that no one wanted to fight against. And Alita still came up against it. I'll say right now, Makaku might be one of the biggest reasons I kept to Battle Angel Alita. Makaku as a villain, how he was built in 6-7 chapters, over 200 and something pages, how he was built and how they slowly like edged him in, and him becoming better and better as a more and more fearsome foe, and then having Alita come up against him in his in her berserker body, where it was like an all-out fight where either of them can win, felt that was one of the things that kept me to the manga was Makaku. The first 2 parts of doing like 4 chapters, 3 or 4 chapters, and doing like watching Makaku slowly go through and seeing how Makaku will be defeated by Alita. Like at that point, more than likely Alita will survive against a Makaku, but she could lose the berserker body. He was such a fearsome foe. In the movie, he felt more like a side villain, if anything, because you have like Vector as one of the big enemies, and then you have Destinova above him, and then you have all these others where they feel more like villains. Also, another one that felt sort of like a villain, he was kind of played to the side because of Vector and Destinova, I just said his name. Sorry. He was the bounty hunter with the blade. Let me see real quick. Zappan. Zappan is the bounty hunter. Zappan felt like sort of like a villain, but in Volume 2, where Zappan really took structure, Zappan felt more fearsome and kind of like he was at that point so pissed off at Alita I think even more pissed off than he was in the movie. Movie, he was sort of pissed off and going towards the film. I'm gonna lose my voice by the end of this. But in the manga, Zapan doing everything, he goes up against and tries to catch Hugo, and all this stuff happens. And then sorry. Oh, fucking chest pain. God damn it. Zapan going up against for Hugo, trying to track him down. In the actual manga, he gets bounty hunters to go after Zapan, and Alita has to protect him. And then the way they did it with Charam, wherever, Ito's wife, the made-up character, is she gives the idea to Alita how to keep the head alive. On the manga is Alita's idea, which I get that they could play it off Ito's wife being that intelligent for it. But to have Alita figure out felt so much more, holy crap, she's brilliant to think of something like that. Also, one of the other hypes I will talk about, because I'm probably not going to go in Volume 2, otherwise I will be here forever. I'm still not done with Volume 1 talking about it. One of the bigger problems I had was Hugo and Vector. Vector up to the point, and also the very early, what is it called? I can't think of what the fucking ball name is called now. What is that called? Come on, I know it's in here somewhere. What is that ball game called? I just can't think. They show it a little bit. Act 3 is more where it's shown off. Motorball. Motorball section of the movie I hate the most, because Motorball was supposed to be like... I would see if you showed it off on the screens, that would be fine, because it's shown off a little bit in the manga. But to show off her joining Motorball and then her having to fight, that was taken from Volume 3, because at that point, at the end of Volume 2, when she lost Hugo, she joined Motorball. She got rid of the body because she felt so devastated. And it built up this incredible, her doing Motorball and just going through the ranks. I think if they cut Motorball entirely and just focus on everything else, I think I would have had... I think if they cut Motorball from it, if they cut Motorball entirely and didn't put it in at all and left it as her joining at the end, or teased her joining at the end, I think I would have probably gave the movie a 5 out of 10. Because them having it in there with the Volume 1 and 2 stuff just felt even more cramped. Because when you put Motorball in it, Motorball is Volume 3. It's like the entirety of Volume 3. I think a little bit of Volume 4. I'm trying to think of what Volume 4 is now. But still, taking Motorball out would make it a whole lot better. I have a reason for bringing up Motorball. Vector being in charge of it felt really weird. Also, them saying the Grand Champion visits Tight Fairs, or Zalam, if you become the Grand Champion, also felt a weird way, because that just means that... that just means Act 3, or... if they ever do a part 2 or part 3 of this film, Alita aiming for the top of Motorball would mean she could go up and kill Destinova, and then Destinova has to escape, because Destinova is part of, like, he's still part of my volumes I'm on. I think I just finished Volume 7. He's still in the background. We're still trying to get to him. So they have to make him escape, otherwise they might just kill him off. If they kill him off, I don't know how you bring in the other volumes at that point. Sorry. The thing the thing I hated most about Vector, them having like wanting him to die in this movie, is they could have done it better off. But the biggest concern with Vector is him and Hugo. Hugo eventually defaults to climb into Typhus because when he goes to find out about getting to Typhus, he gets told after Alita saved him with the head and he gets put in the cyber body, he gets told that the only way he could have got to Typhus was if he gets like Vector tells him straight out, the only way you can get there is if we take you apart and send you up piece by piece. And that's what leads him to climb in the goddamn the fucking pipeline to Typhus. That kind of pissed me off. I get that they had to probably get rid of the side character Sharlam and show it off as like, oh, this is what Vector meant by getting to Typhus. This is the only way. You didn't really have to do that way. You could probably kept to the manga, because I think that shocked Hugo the most is when he found out about that. Found out there was no real way of getting Typhus without dying for it. Also, him telling Alita he would want her as a trinket on his chest. That happened the second time. I'm pretty sure. I'm looking at the bar scene now. I would love, and they would never do it this way. You would have to do for longer chapters. So if they wanted to do it, they would have to do what? They would have to do. If they did volume 1 in episodes, they would probably chapter. You start getting to chapter like 4 or 5 where it's 100 pages or 60 pages. They probably have to do an episode or 2. But if they did like a few episodes for volume 1 and then they did a few episodes for volume 2, stuff like that, I would love it so much more. I'm not getting to volume 2 anytime soon. This is going to be a fucking hour-long video. I'm sorry about that. If you made it this far, awesome. Good for you. You haven't just disliked and left the video like I'm guessing a lot of people will do because I'm talking about the movie again. I'm losing my voice. My throat is killing me. Sorry, I'm fixing my hair real quick. Because what I do is I keep it in a ponytail till it's partial. Like, I first leave it in a towel for like 30 minutes to an hour. And then I put it in a ponytail for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. And then I put my hair in the front and put my back into a ponytail. You might say that's a long time to do hair, but it's the way. If I do it this way, my hair comes very, 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 feels very nice. My hair. I want to quickly look at something. I'm not gonna listen to the volume. I want to quickly zoom to somewheres in the movie. Talk about it. How long was the motorball scenes? If you cut all of motorball out of the movie, how long was the motorball? Because once you add motorball into it, it makes it a whole different picture. Because they could have saved that for the second movie. Also, Zapan getting his face cut off and him trying to take the head away from Alita. I loved it in the movie, even if it was like that. Also, anytime they showed off it a little bit, is showed off her chi, which was a thing they showed off. It had to have been what, volume 3, volume 4, they started talking about chi. I'm still in the fucking battle with Makaku. I was solely reading it to myself because I love it so much. Also, the other thing that made me love Mukaku as a fight is Mukaku takes the baby Kiyomi away. Duke then jumps after her. Jumps after Mukaku and Kiyomi, the baby Kiyomi. And Ito's in the chair. He can't help the battle. If Alita doesn't win here, there's no Hugo yet. There's no one to back him up. The whole bar is empty. No Zapan, everything. Everybody's gone. It's just her to go and save Kiyomi and Duke. She's the only one because she just trashed the entire bar. There's so much more high stakes to her fighting Zapan and winning than there is when she fights Zapan, whatever his name is, at the end of the movie, where you see her suit regenerate. Also, her cutting through the fingers, the razor blade fingers, her cutting through it. I'm more than certain during the battle with Makaku, she does cut through them or gets through them, but she realizes it through chi, which she accidentally figures out. I really want to see how Makaku ends now, because him getting cut in half just felt like a letdown at that point. Makaku didn't really do a big job as a threat in the movie. And I think that's what pisses me off more, is Makaku was one of the bigger reasons I loved Alita and got into Alita. Was the first villain, Makaku. I think this might be Battle Angel full review. I wish more for Makaku. Something. I'm going to have Makaku in the title because I really wish there was more. Makaku was what brought me to like it. Then to also see the underground city, like everything that's in the wreck down here underneath everything. Okay, I'm at the fight now. They're down in the sewers. Then Duke comes down and helps him real quick. And he pulls out the arm from the other eye. Fucking Duke. Then Duke takes Kiyomi and starts running. Then she activates Chi and blows up his hand, not knowing what Chi is yet. The way she controls Chi within the movie, like, oh, I know how this works, and then just cuts through Makaku like nothing, it was more of her figuring out during battle type of situation in the manga. Those moves, I just naturally responded. That moment, I didn't understand it myself. That's not my air condition. That's just, it's raining really hard out right now. And it's her also trying to figure out how Chi works. I can't remember how Makaku gets defeated here. That's what I really want to check out real quick. Really, it's just one enemy that really took me aback. The Vector stuff, maybe the Io removing his mark felt very weird, and why would you do that? Because the mark kind of felt more like a burden to him at that point. So I get maybe removing it, but it kind of left him... It kind of pushed him more forward with him having the mark on him. Vector being such a big enemy and then killed off so quickly, like showing off, and then Makaku wasn't really the main enemy of this. This Vector was the main enemy of this thing. Makaku was just like a side character at best, because they kept on putting Desanova as like the big boss, and he's up in Typhers, which makes no sense. Ow, my throat. Yeah, I think Makaku being such a small character within the movie, he did some stuff. Also, them adding Motor Ball. I think those are the two biggest things that grant me from it. And you might say again, oh, it is a manga. It is a book. It's a manga. They took stuff from it. This is a movie. It's not going to be directly like it. But me coming from the manga into the movie, when looking at other mangas and movies, or other manga and anime, and seeing how well they do with adapting the manga into the movie, then seeing what they did with Battle Angel Alita manga, and then Alita Battle Angel movie, and seeing how much it is, even if it's based off the anime. Why not base it off the fucking manga? If you're basing a movie off of the anime, feels so weird. Why would you base a movie off the anime and not the fucking manga, which is the source material, kind of the source material towards the anime? Why wouldn't you do it? It's the same name. Ugh, I don't know what I'll title this. This will be full review. I'll say why I hated about it, because I'm saying a lot what I hated about this movie, and there's a lot of me comparing, but I can't compare because I would be here for fucking an hour. We're already at an hour. I'll be here for another hour. I didn't want this to be an hour. I'm still in the fight with Makaku, because I stopped that and started watching some of the film just to put up zones like that. Trying to see how she defeats Makaku real quick. The whole Hugo thing can be pushed back because they did Hugo pretty well with how they're doing. them cutting stuff from Hugo is fine. Him just going up the tubes to Typhairs instead of learning there was no way Vector could get him up to Typhairs. All that. I believe what he did have guards in front of him, Vector, in the manga, but he wasn't part of the factory, which, well, he kind of was. He did help with the factory, but his base being above the factory was weird. I don't believe that's how it was in the manga. I will probably quickly go through. Also, we got Mokaku backstory. That was the other thing. You then put more of a backstory with the Mokaku and saw how he became what he was. And then he died. Okay. Let me go to halfway through Volume 2 and just see real quick. Chapter 3 is already with the bounty. Oh, and then you have during this you have Zappan run into Ito, and Ito's like, want to make a bet if Alita will kill him or not kill him, like kind of like in that sense. What is the exact words right here? Alita will just run away with that kid, that's all. Nah, no, I know better than that. Is that your idea of fun, Zappan? Picking on a little girl? How about a bet, Doc? Think Ida will come back with her lover's head? Or will she run away with the kid? So, kind of like really toying with Ida. With the little bit of Zappan and him beating up Ito. Also, the way they played off Hugo in the movie also kind of peeved me off. It wasn't too bad. I get that they wanted to put it that way. We first saw Ito taking stuff from people, like taking stuff and selling it from other cyborgs, and then you find out who he is because Alita solely has a crush on him. I'm telling you, I'm more than likely wrong with something that I just said there, but it's fine. I'm trying to flip through this as quickly as possible because I do not want to go on for another 30 minutes here. I'm having problems loading the chapter. Oh, and then Ida showing Ida was nearby when Alita showed off the head to Zappan. You killed him? Also, he had bets out. That he put out bets and tickets for a battle for Alita versus Zappan and all this other stuff. And then people were let down because of this. Oh, fucking, it's... That's where she sees that she hooked up the head. That's where they see Zappan would be stealing the kill. And instead of her using Zappan's weapon, which Zappan didn't have, She used chi and cut his face off. But even showing that would be too graphic. I think it's this chapter that Hugo it's chapter 11. I think this is where Hugo finds out about Vector. Okay, then where is it? It has to be earlier. I flipped to page 20 and that was way too late. Do you have a fair to type farers? He's where there with Alita. And he shows you. And kind of basically he tells that to Hugo because he was going to show that off to see if he would just stay down here. That was the draw there. So he could stay down here and become a better employee, because at that point Hugo was such a great employee for Vector. I'm reading again and not talking. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Then Vector tries to get rid of them with a killer robot. Does Vector die in Volume 2? How long is Volume 2? I have the wrong fucking volume. I have the wrong wiki opened. So give me 1 second. There's about Alita chapter. So chapter 12 would be the end of volume 2. Which I just hit chapter 12. It is 20 pages long. I want to see real quick. I can't remember how Vector dies. That's what's throwing me off the most. Oh yeah. Alita does know about the saws though. She only knows because she finds out that someone's climbing, and he's been climbing slowly up it. And he's dodged one at this point, but lost his legs. Typhoeus seems so beautiful. Yeah, so Vector doesn't die in Volume 2. I don't know when Vector dies. I don't think Vector is in the manga where I am right now. I think he's gone. I just can't remember how he dies. That's if he's dead. I can't remember if he's dead or not. Yeah, that felt like in the movie they just wanted to kill Vector. They put him as the main bad, and then they just wanted him dead. when vector could have been used for even bigger stuff within the volumes. Yeah, so overlooking stuff now with some contests, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. That's the best I can give it. Better than my 2 out of 10, but it's still, I think Makaku is the biggest reason why I can't give this rating above a 5. Makaku and them adding Motorball is like two of my biggest concerns, but then there's smaller stuff that they change that kind of piss me off. So I know this is probably long and this was very drawn out. I'm gonna try put a intro talking about how you can either watch this or go somewhere else, because it's very not half-assed, but put together very roughly. But that's best I can do right now, just because otherwise me writing down a script and everything for this is gonna take days, maybe weeks. I don't want to do that. This movie, I do not want to put that much effort in reviewing this movie. I did not like it. Why would I put that much effort into making a script or anything for this? Because it's whatever. 4 out of 10. That is my final review for the movie. Maybe the anime, maybe the OVAs might be better. I can quickly see. I was very curious about it yesterday. I didn't look it up though. Also, I'll say right now, I know a lot of you guys like this movie. I'm sorry I didn't like it. Don't dislike my fucking review and my video just because I didn't like it. I get that you're disliking it because there's no movie, but disliking it because I dislike it, whatever. More than likely, likes and dislikes will be turned off. More than likely, we will not do any more live action movies because of that point. Because I'm used to having 1 or 2 dislikes on some videos where I don't show video and it's just new people finding my channel. But when I put something out like this, or back in the day, I used to, whenever I did VR chat, I put out like probably 8 videos of VR chat. I didn't put out much. Whenever I put out a VR chat video, it would get dislike bombed by a group of people that watch me, or watch me only for certain content. Because as soon as they saw VR chat stuff, or VR stuff, they would dislike it, get together and dislike it with 12 to 15 dislikes. As soon as it came out, within an hour, I'd have 12 to 15 dislikes on a video that has 0 views, or 2 views. They would dislike bomb it back then. Within the first 5-6 hours of this movie being out, it had 1 like and I think 5 dislikes on it. So you kind of see my fact there. So it's whatever. Otherwise, if you guys like video, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, I recommend subscribing to the channel. Keep up with all the content. If there are stuff that you guys want to talk about in the comments. If it gets too obedient, or if you're getting to the point where you're just not listening to why I dislike it and then saying you shouldn't dislike it for this point, like if you start bringing in your own opinions and saying why I'm wrong and I shouldn't dislike it for that fact, I'm deleting your comments or I'm banning you from the channel. I don't care anymore, because at this point I've told you why I don't like stuff. Why I don't. If you want to ask about other moments in the movie, why I might have disliked it, or if I liked it, go right ahead. I'm fine with saying if I disliked it or liked it or how. But if you come in here and start saying, "Oh, you shouldn't dislike it because of this fact," or this is based off a book, and films are not usually that well. I've already explained to you everything I've watched up to this point, anime, whatever, based off a manga is usually head on. I've never seen something this bad. badly adaptation with them cutting so much. And even if you say it's based off the anime, I would rather have them base it off the manga. Why the fuck would you base it off of anime if you then, whatever. We will pick up the OVA most likely, just because I'm curious. More than likely when we do, we will turn off likes and dislikes. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. Whatever the opinion is. Hopefully I see you guys in the next video. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good night, wherever you are, just have a good day. Hopefully I see you guys in the next video, and peace.